What's up, guys? We are back. Fitness Profit Multiplier, Anthony and Jimmy. Today, we're going to be discussing joint ventures. Now, I really dislike joint ventures. I understand their value. I understand how important they are to have joint ventures and to, you hear this from the gurus all the time. You need to set up joint ventures. I'll show you a system to get so many joint ventures for your gym. And it is an easy way to grow your business. But it's not easy because now you're reliant on another business to help give you referrals. And it's not an easy thing to master. This is why I've kind of stayed away from it for a little bit and focused on the things that I can control. And it's gotten my gym to a really, really good point. I have 2 locations. I'm just about at that 7-figure run rate. So, I'm at a good place not using joint ventures, but they are a strategic tool that you can use. So the guy on the other end of this has successfully done this with physical therapists. So Jimmy today is going to outline his exact system for setting up joint ventures with physical therapists. So we're going to hear from Jimmy today on this topic because I think he does a really, really good job doing it. And then I'm going to jump in with some of my ideas because I think I have a really good way to reach out to local therapists without actually having to knock on the door. So Go ahead, Jimmy, take it away.
So like Anthony said, you'll have a lot of gurus out there, a lot of people out there that say, this is how you do joint ventures. They'll have ideas around joint ventures and ideas that aren't tested. And they'll build together a framework and some scripting and this and that, but they've never actually done it themselves, which is one of the things that bothers me the most in this industry are people that give you ideas that they haven't tested. We don't do that here. Right? We may, but if we do, that's what we'll tell you. We'll be upfront about like, this is an idea. This is something that you could try. But if we've done it ourselves, we'll say, this is how you do it because we've done it and we've been successful with it. Or we've done it and we haven't been. So a lot of people say, oh, joint ventures, this, that, other thing. Joint ventures are not easy. Joint ventures are at the core relationship building. You're building a relationship with the owners, the specific therapists, the other people at the front desk. You're building a relationship with these physical therapy clinics. And there's some great ways to do it. I don't expect all of you to intern at a physical therapy clinic like I did early on. And that's how I made all these connections, is I wanted to learn more about how physical therapy worked, right? I actually wanted to be a physical therapist for a time.
Me too, you know that?
I mean, our stories.
I worked at a physical therapy place for many, many years.
I never actually worked at one. I just like gave my time for free. But and that's a path that a lot of people go down as they think of, oh, the prestige of being a physical therapist. I want to be a physical therapist. But then you realize along the way that you don't want to massage people all day. You want to help people get really strong. So I interned with these physical therapy clinics, and physical therapists are, and chiropractors for that matter, good chiropractors, right, are a great person to have in your back pocket. Because at your gym, people are going to get hurt. If you're sitting there going, oh, our program's not going to hurt anybody, nobody's going to get hurt. BS, huge BS, I call on that. Because physical therapists even hurt people, right? So people are going to get hurt. Pain science is not very well understood. So people get hurt, it happens, and you don't know why. But at a certain level, you have to refer them out at a certain point. But I digress. So back to the point of building these joint ventures, you want to develop a relationship with the owners of the PT clinics. So the first step is giving some free time to these physical therapists, shadowing them a little bit, sitting in on some sessions. If you have a client who's going to a specific physical therapist in town, ask that client if you can attend their session with them. Because that's a good foot in the door and a way that the physical therapist is going to know that you're serious about the treatment of this patient, thus getting them to refer more patients to you. So attend the physical therapy sessions, a couple of them, with a client who's getting physical therapy, so you better understand what's going on. Set up lunch and learns with these physical therapy clinics. Go in there and actually talk about what you do and how it can be a symbiotic relationship with their facility, so that when that person is done with physical therapy, they actually have a place that they trust that they can send them, because physical therapists don't trust personal trainers. Okay. Bar none. The entire industry, they don't trust personal trainers because their view of a personal trainer is a minimally certified Gold's Gym trainer that doesn't even hold a certification. They went to a weekend course and the manager at Gold's Gym says, go train people. That's their view of what a personal trainer is. But if you can go in and show your knowledge and show that you are there to help their people graduate from PT and give them the strength that they need, because they want a place that they can refer people to on a regular basis to help them. They're in the business of helping people feel better and move better. So they want somebody that they can trust. And business is all about know, like, and trust. Know, like, and trust everywhere. So to develop this joint venture relationship, it's sales. It's showing your personality. It's showing what your business can do for other people. It's showing them testimonials and social proof, right? It's all the same thing. This is just you actually making a personal connection, or your manager could do it too, making a personal connection with this physical therapy clinic. So if you're at a loss, how do you start this? How do you don't have a client that's going to a physical therapist in the area, so you can't sit in on sessions. You don't have the time or bandwidth to do some intern work at a physical therapy clinic. So how do you get started? Well, you reach out to that physical therapist or that chiropractor or whoever it is that you want to have a relationship with, and you just ask to sit down with them for coffee, for lunch, whatever. You want to talk about how you can help their business grow and you can help their clients out or their patients out once they're done with their services. I'd love to have a conversation with you. Every time you have a client who's going to a physical therapist, say, hey, I'd love to talk with your physical therapist more in depth about your treatment. Take them out for coffee, take them out for lunch, have a conversation philosophy-wise, what your philosophy is around training, to see if it meshes. Because then if it meshes and it really meshes and they're cool with the way that you do things, they're going to refer you people all the time. So we actually have 3 physical therapy partners, one local, one town over, and one another town over. So 3 towns that surround us, we have partner relationships. Some of those relationships are good. Some of those relationships are not as good in terms of the referral back and forth. But your trainers also have connections from going to school with people that ended up becoming physical therapists and may live locally. Talk to your trainers. There are these pockets and these opportunities, and you just have to get your foot in the door and pound the pavement and talk to these people. The easiest in is if a client of yours is seeing a physical therapist. It's harder when they're not because you don't have a reason, but you can always go in locally to these front desk staff. Or if you have some pain yourself, go in and schedule some appointments. Show them with your dollar bills and start that conversation. Doesn't matter how you start it, you just have to start it and then talk about your business with them.
So I actually have a question. I'm listening to this, and again, joint ventures is something that I never really did. So now, okay, that's all fine and dandy, meeting them. And another good way to do this is through LinkedIn. I actually have a LinkedIn profile, and I'm pretty connected with a lot of people locally. And I've talked to a lot of therapists locally, and we always talk about our businesses, but it never goes anything beyond that. So Jimmy, what's like the next step then beyond that? Do you literally like ask them, and it is cheesy to say, but I know you wouldn't do this way, but do you actually say like, hey, can I have some of your business cards to leave at the gym? Like, how do you go about building that? Hey, I'll send you clients, you send me clients. Like, how does that building back and forth kind of work? And what do you do to kind of facilitate that? Do you give like every physical therapy person a free week? How do you facilitate that? Hey, send me people.
Yeah. So we have offered physical therapists that we want to build relationships with free months to our facility, right? Hey, every staff member gets a free month. That doesn't work. Okay. So just, they don't take advantage of it. They don't use it. They don't come into your facility. Okay. So that's not something that works, right? So how do you actually build the relationship? you start by referring people to them. So you got to give a little to get a little. And you're going to find that you're going to give a lot more than you're going to get. And that's okay, because physical therapists aren't salespeople. But if you find a physical therapist that is really devoted to joint ventures and growing their business, which they are, because physical therapists are referral-based businesses. They're not as much this digital advertising-based business. They do use it, but a majority of the time, physical therapists are referral-based. They get referrals from doctors, they have relationships with hospitals. That's how they grow their business. So that's the mindset that they're in all the time. So they're a joint venture-based relationship, referrals from other businesses, right? They're a joint venture-based relationship. And because they're so in that mindset, it's you scratch my back, I scratch yours. Your foot in the door a lot of the times is referring a specific client to their facility specifically, getting them to go there and following up with their treatment, right? That's the easiest way to create the relationship, because you're belly to belly at that point. If you go in, you ask to go in with your client to better understand their treatment, it goes a very long way. Don't sleep on that. I don't do that anymore, but in the beginning, I did that a ton. A client would have an issue. They'd go in and see a physical therapist. I'd have a free hour. I would show up at the PT clinic to sit for an hour with that client. And it's not like you're making money that hour, but this is for future money. This is to build a relationship. This is a sales meeting, right? These are things that you can do to build up your credibility with that physical therapy clinic so they'll refer to you on a regular basis. I'm really the only name, right, that people refer to from physical therapy clinics in our area. So because they trust me, they don't trust the other gyms that exist because of the brand that we've built and the way that we've communicated with them. So don't just send your client to physical therapy and go, you're in physical therapy, cool. Send them to physical therapy, get on the phone with the therapist, take the therapist out to lunch or coffee or whatever, sit in at the clinic with them, do the due diligence and the extra time that it takes to build that relationship. And that's how you make it work. It's not some fancy promotion. It's not offering their staff a free month. It's not going and dropping off candy at their front desk. It's the easiest way to build that relationship is to care a ton about your client and their success, because then the therapist trusts you so much more than just dropping candy off at their front desk.
Jimmy, I absolutely hate this advice. You know why I hate this advice? Because it's a 4-letter word that people don't like, and that's work. You had said it best. You are making deposits. You're not making money the hours you're going in there building these relationships. You are depositing into your future bank account, because that is time that's invested into that therapist, right? Not so much even into the client. It's more into the therapist. Yes, I'm sure your client appreciates the fact that you're there, but the fact that you're there and Orange Theory is not there, F45 is not there, the CrossFit's not there, makes all the difference, for especially in the therapist mind too. It says I can really, really trust this guy. So that's great advice. And guys, this is why joint ventures is not as easy as just showing up and say, hey, can you send out an email for me? Hey, here's a free month, come join. You know, it's not like that. And this is why it works so well with physical therapists, because it's so in line with what we do. And like Jimmy said, with chiropractors, you probably have to do something different when it comes to like a hair salon. I'm not sure the route to go down with that, but you probably have to do something a little bit different. But again, this is to get a strategic joint venture, not just any joint venture. So if you guys go ahead and take action on this, this is something, again, it's probably going to take a lot of time to get off the ground. But once you get it off the ground, it's going to be a reliable plug. Really quick, Jimmy, how many leads, clients would you say you get off your joint ventures every month?
Well, now it's not a high volume lead generator, so keep that in mind, but it's a very high conversion rate. So the likelihood of somebody converting from a physical therapy joint venture is like, if they're a lead, it's like 90%, right? 95% of those people are going to convert, right? And you're going to get 2 or 3 a month. Okay. So
now if you do the math, just say the minimum 2 a month for 12 months out of the year, That's a lot of clients. And
Yeah.
Jimmy had posted up in our Facebook group yesterday about attrition. And if you lose a certain amount of clients every month, you need like 36 people a year just to replace a really good attrition rate. So if you just had a really good joint venture with a physical therapist, that'll fill that bucket right there.
Yeah.
And again, guys, if you have any other questions about anything like this, just click all those links below. And you'll have all the info there to get in touch with us. Until next time, Anthony and Jimmy, Fitness Profit Multiplier. Go set up those joint ventures